Thank you for listening to the Pull It Back podcast. Now here are your hosts, Mike and Andy.
Thank you for listening to the Pull It Back podcast. I am Mike, and I am here with my wife, Carissa,
Hey, y'all.
and also with my brother from Kentucky, Andy.
Howdy, howdy.
So I wanted to start this episode off with a very interesting topic, grass.
Oh, this should
Okay,
be interesting.
The most interesting topics of all topics.
Yeah, let's see where this goes.
So
Continue.
I stumbled across this YouTube video like I do, and it showed how lawns in America are a way of showing everyone if you're lazy or not.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, if you have a manicured lawn, that means you have
Super active. Shop at Whole
you're more
Foods.
active. You care about things. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then,
You're much more put together.
yeah, it's kind of like a sign
Yeah.
of how much you work.
Of responsibility. That's
Yes.
what it is.
Yeah. So these started back in I think right after the war. They had a bunch of soldiers coming back from the war and trying to buy houses and whatnot. And so there was this home builder that started building these suburb houses and stuff with lawns so everybody could have their own little piece of land. But then he was super racist and wouldn't let black people buy these houses.
Not cool.
He only gave loans and the ability to purchase one of these houses to white people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So suburban areas are all racist.
Nice.
And did you know that 50 to 70% of all drinkable water is used in landscaping?
What?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, 3 times more than irrigated corn, which is the biggest crop in the United States. So basically almost, half to 2/3 of all of our fresh water is going into watering our lawns.
Oh my
You
God.
mean half
That's ridiculous.
to three
And that's
quarters?
Yeah.
like extra
That's-
bad in Texas.
Well, in California, too, they're like in a super drought. I mean, Texas, it was bad a couple of years ago, but we got
Yeah.
quite a bit of rain. I think we're all right for now.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of flooding and stuff, so
Yeah,
we're
we
good.
did.
But
Yeah.
California is like hanging on by a thread. Like they basically had to take a river that was like in another state, and they had to divert it and start pumping water from that river. I think it's in Nevada. Where does LA get its water from?
I have no freaking clue.
You probably should have
know, it's-
Googled that
Well,
before
'cause
the show.
Well, that wasn't part of the thing, but it was like, you know how they have the LA River? It's just a big storm drain.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like a real river. Well, the real water source going into LA, because it's like basically a desert, so they have water getting pumped in from another. I can't, like I said, off the top of my head, I can't remember it, but there's a river that goes through, I think, Nevada, and then they pump the water to LA. So if they don't get rain, they're screwed. And it's also illegal to collect rainwater in California, which is ridiculous.
Why is that illegal? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know. It's just
It's-
illegal.
That
I think
is
it's
the
illegal in
gift
Oregon, too.
from God. Like that's I don't understand that. That's a
It's a
natural
natural
resource
Yeah.
that God just throws down at us. He's like, here, take lots of water. Here's precipitation, whatever. Why can't we collect it? That's stupid.
No, we can because we're in Texas. We're in a better state. But
Well,
California,
yeah.
they can't collect rainwater because I guess it's. I have no idea. It's just the stupidest thing.
That is really stupid.
So basically, it's like every person in America dropping 30 gallons of fresh drinkable water on the ground every single day.
Nope. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
That's how
glad
much water we waste.
we're in an apartment so
God.
that we don't
On grass.
contribute to that.
So Los
So,
Angeles gets its water from the 242-mile Colorado River Aqueduct.
Oh, they do get it from the Colorado River.
You
Yeah.
said Nevada.
Well, I think it runs through
Colorado
Nevada, right?
River Aqueduct is delivering water to Southern California for over 70 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So it gets it from the
Yeah, like they
Colorado
have a-
River Aqueduct.
Yeah, which, I mean, most states, or at least most western states, get their water from the Colorado River, even Texas. Like where we're at in Austin, Lake Austin, Lake Travis, all those big lakes are all the Colorado River. Yeah, because I saw this documentary about the California water supply thing, and it's
Okay.
like it has to go up and over like big hills and plateaus and stuff. So they have these like
Yeah.
super strong, powerful pumps that push it uphill and then back downhill. And it's like, why would you put a city in the middle of a desert where you had to go through all that just to get them water.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Like there's no water source around LA that's natural. So,
Odd.
therefore proving that Californians are bass-ackwards.
Why did they call
Yeah.
them the L.A. Lakers then? Is there a big-ass lake there?
Maybe because they want it so bad. That's the only Laker they can get is a basketball team.
Gosh.
So that was another thing about this too, is because they're wasting so much water on all this grass. This was my like theory when I was in like grade school. I was like, well, the whole planet warming and thing like that. Like, it's probably because of all the roads, because the roads and whatever, like concrete and stuff is reflective.
Yeah.
So when the sun's beaming down, it's reflecting that light back up into the atmosphere. Well, CO2, grass is one of the biggest CO2 sinks, which means it absorbs CO2 more than anything else. So, like I said, further proving my theory, because the less grass that we have, the more CO2 goes back into the air. So that's why they're like, because I saw a statistic that it was saying, like, basically, if you took every just parking lot, just pavement used for parking lots, if you took every parking lot pavement and then basically laid it out over an area, it would cover the state of Ohio.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, in America.
Oh, I was about to say, is that like all throughout the world, or
No.
just
It's just in America. So
Gotcha.
basically, just the parking lots, it would cover the state of Ohio. So
Holy
that's
crap.
a lot of area that's reflecting light and CO2 back into the air. So I mean, of course, I think it's pavement that's screwing up our atmosphere.
maybe?
Or
I'd
heat,
agree
I
with
guess.
that. I think that's a sound theory. Because do you remember a few years ago there was doing those like octagonal, basically solar panels that they could put in the road and absorb that sunlight
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of reflecting it back like black tar or tar would do. It absorbs the
Yeah.
light and charges lights and everything else, and it's like more durable than the asphalt, and it can be easily changed. And you wouldn't even need to go across the whole road. You'd only need a few every so often, and it could
Yeah.
do all this shit. But they were like, no, we don't want to do that. And it's like, what as much interstate and highways as there is, reflecting all that light as well, you could generate enough energy to, run a town or so.
Yeah, for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
It-
if you've lived in a southern state, stepping out on hot pavement is not fun.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost instant blistering.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't. That's impossible.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I know if it's 110 degrees out here and you step on hot pavement in the middle of like say 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, your feet are getting burned. But
Yeah.
if you step out on grass when it's 110 degrees out, you're
It
fine.
feels amazing. Oh
Yeah,
my
you
gosh.
feel fine. So I
Yes.
think that has a lot to do with the heating of the earth problem.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because this
People
stuff
just kind of
is-
sweep that under the rug, like.
Yeah,
mean,
that's
it's a lot.
it's just beaming heat right into your
Yeah,
face.
I mean, it's like you've seen it. Like if you walk out onto like it's not necessarily a blacktop, but when we first moved down here to Texas, and you walk out onto like a basketball court, those concrete basketball courts that are outdoor, and it's like a white pavement.
yeah.
It's blinding.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you just got to think the pavement, especially when you think of like rooftops of like Walmarts and stuff like that. They're
Yeah.
mostly concrete and white pavement, and you have all these parking lots, you have all these roads, you have just this concrete jungle of things, and it's all just reflecting light and sending the heat back up instead of actually absorbing it like grass would. So that's just my theory, man. I think we need to get rid of pavement and just be able to find ways to travel on grass.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
drive anywhere as the crow flies, or make flying cars.
Ooh.
They're never gonna
Or
have
we
flying
could
cars.
do what every other
No, they will.
in Texas. We could
Oh
do what every other state thinks we do, where we just ride horses everywhere, which is not true. Oh my gosh, we have vehicles, we have cars, sedan, we have trucks. Okay,
We have electricity too.
yeah, we have indoor plumbing. By golly,
You got
Like-
We stopped
indoor
pooping in
plumbing to
buckets at
wash
least
clothes.
10 years ago.
oh my
10
gosh,
years.
Michael.
I'm a man.
10 years ago, we stopped
Let's-
pooping in buckets, and we
Let's
started
not be
pooping in
hasty. That
toilets.
was 8. 8 we quit that.
We'll be pooping toilets now.
Yeah, we're sophisticated.
Indoor
You know.
plumbing to wash and rinse our stuff.
and we got AC to keep us cool,
Without
keep
AC,
our
nobody
beer
would live
cool.
here. Without AC, if you look at a map and they show like the invention of air conditioning, like population in the southern states versus now, it
Just
shows like
boomed.
it's like nobody. It's just been staying stagnant, and then all of a sudden, air conditioning got invented, and then it just boomed.
Well, why do you think? Okay, being as pasty white as I am, why do you think I hate summers? Because I don't like going out in the heat, and I just want to stay inside where it's nice and cool. I
Because
don't
we're
want to.
European.
I know.
We're of European ancestry, and we're used to cloudy, miserable days. And you just got plentiful sunshine here. And it's like some people during the Wild West, they were just like, let's just settle on right here. You know, the winters aren't that bad. And then come summertime, they were just like, what the hell were we thinking?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's crazy because some people that are like native to here,
Like
I've
myself.
met quite a few people that are native to here, and they're just like, oh, I love the heat. I'd rather be sweating hot than cold.
Oh,
I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like the heat has cooked your brain too long.
Yeah, no, okay,
Like,
so
yeah, they're like
I'm like
they're-
born and
they're
raised
crazy
in
people.
Central Texas, and even being a native Central Texan, I hate the summers here in Texas. They are too hot. They are too humid. Like, I just die. I'm like melting the second I step outside.
And it's disgusting
just-
when people say like, oh, you know, it's a dry heat. Like, no, it's not.
No,
It's a
not.
super humid heat.
Yes,
it's
it
never
is.
hot. Like, it's never been a dry heat. Like, what is wrong with you?
And there's always like mosquitoes and meh, meh,
Oh,
meh.
it's terrible. It's a
Oh
terrible
my
place.
gosh, it's horrendous. I mean, Texas
it
is
does,
definitely
like-
my home, but it is so hard for me to enjoy summers here.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
But it's definitely. Well, when I was there for summertime, it felt like it was always dry to me. It's just never rained when I was down there. Of course, that was when the drought was going on.
Oh yeah, that's different.
Well, yeah, that was like that one year. I don't remember what year it was. I think it was like, 2010 maybe? 2009? Maybe
Yeah.
2011. Anyway, it was like a really bad drought, and we had like, I think it was like 40-something days straight of over 100 degrees.
Yes.
I remember that. That was rough.
Yeah,
That
man.
was. Oh my
I
gosh.
remember that. I was delivering supplies for Lowe's back then, appliances.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
by myself like 3/4 of the time, and when it was like summertime, we called it the 100 Days of Hell. It's just like 100 straight days of 100-degree weather, and you had
Yeah.
100 deliveries to do, and that's exactly, dude. I lost so much weight when I did that.
I know.
Oh yeah.
I destroyed
Sweat
my
all the fat
knees
off,
and my
man.
shoulders. Oh yeah, I got all fucked up back then.
Dang.
Yeah,
That
it was
sucks.
rough.
That
Well,
does
I
suck.
did that roofing there for a moment. I did it
Yeah,
for a day.
for
and I was
one
like, dude,
day
screw
with
this.
my cousin. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I still don't know exactly what Kobe does. I think he's the owner, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's actually out there with his guys or what.
Yeah, he's out there.
Oh my
Sometimes
gosh,
he's out there, yeah.
he's a trooper.
Yeah.
I love Kobe
Roofing in
Hinkle so
Texas
much
in
more.
July is not fun.
No, and
God.
well, that's what Luke Sikora's doing, and I'm like, how? I know two crazy people, but I mean, clearly they're
That's where
loving
money
what they-
is because
Yeah.
nobody wants to do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
like they're
it's-
doing a
they can
great
do it.
job.
They can do
Both their
whatever they
companies
want.
are booming. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just blows my mind though, because I'm like, oh my gosh,
I bucked shingles one summer after high school. I was working for that restoration company, and we had a roofing job, and I was helping buck shingles up a ladder. And I was like, I had long hair because I was right out of high school.
Oh.
So my boxers kept riding on my ass. I was like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. And at
no.
lunchtime, I cut my boxers. I didn't even pull my pants down. I just cut my boxers off of me because they kept chafing and riding up my ass. And I was like, cut those bitches off, threw them in the trash, and I was like, oh. I just freeballed the rest of the day because it gave me some relief. And
Yeah.
then that night, I was like, I've got to go get a fucking haircut. It's like, that had
Shaving
been
my head bald.
dude.
Well,
that
and
was the
that's-
first time I had considered cutting my hair at And I was like, I got to get rid of this shit if I'm going to keep living.
Yeah.
Well,
no
I'm
kidding.
pretty sure that every summer that I experience, and so far we're about to come up on summer, so I've experienced 25 summers. Every single year, I'm just like, because I have really, really long, like almost pitch black hair, and it's very thick, very curly, and that is the one time of year where I'm like, okay, I'm about to do something crazy. I'm just going to shave all my hair off. But I'm far too vain, so I won't do that. But it's unbearable,
I know it is.
honestly. Like, oh my gosh.
This state gets pretty damn hot. So if you're thinking about coming to Texas,
Don't.
Well, you can come to Texas, but just not Austin
Yeah. Yeah. Move
Or
elsewhere,
Killeen or-
please.
Belton.
or anywhere. Yeah,
Anyway.
anywhere, like around us.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why you guys should come live in Louisville. Because the summers
Thinking
aren't that
about
bad.
it.
I'm just saying. The summers
Mm-hmm.
can get really hot and humid. Oh, my God. But it doesn't last nearly as long. And everything's green. You get rain regularly.
Mm-hmm.
But it does get humid as
That's a perk. You get rain.
Well, like, okay,
We get rain.
so
we get a lot of it all at once.
But
for
you
our
do get a full on spring though. Like spring
Really?
is just now sliding in. Like spring
Mm.
is it was 46 degrees out today.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
And it was
it's about
sun
that
shining.
today.
The
Here,
sun
it's-
was shining all day.
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
sunny today, and it's 56 right now.
Yeah.
Well, and for our wedding, November of last year, November 2017, like we got married on November 5th, and even in November,
you better remember that shit.
it was shut up. I had to look up at the little name plaque right above our entrance
Oh
entry door to see
no!
the year.
I see
Yeah.
you cheated.
Yes, I did. I did cheat. Dude, I can barely remember my age half the time. Okay? Yeah.
I remember
But
my
for our
anniversary.
wedding,
Jeez.
it was so hot, and this was in November
I
when it's
know,
supposed
I
to be
was
cold.
there. I know a couple
yeah.
of nights.
It was
I
a
was
little
there.
chilly.
My hair was down.
It got chilly a
Gosh.
couple of the nights, but
Yeah.
when I visited, but it never got like cold. It got a little
Yeah.
chilly,
Yeah.
but no more than a.
It was
little
okay in
jacket.
the evening. Like when the sun went down, it was okay. But
Yeah,
during the day, it got
one of the reasons why I
Humid.
wanted to get married in November was it was supposed to be cooler in November, but it didn't happen.
It isn't every.
We
other
got
state
married
except
in
Texas.
freaking. Oh my God, we got married in July.
Yeah, I remember that. That was hot.
Hot.
Well,
AF.
Michelle got married in August
Yeah, I know.
outside.
Yeah, she got
Ooh.
married in August outside. It was
Yeah,
Yeah.
ours was outside too. It was pretty chilly because it had rained the day before. Yeah.
What in y'all's wedding?
Yeah.
No, it was hot as hell, man.
But it had rained.
We had to move everything
It was
inside
kind of
because
cloudy.
of how hot it was.
Oh,
Well, y'all were
did
going to
we?
do it outside.
No, I
Y'all were
thought
gonna
it was
do
because it was
outside, then we
raining.
moved it inside. No, it wasn't raining. It was just hot.
Oh my gosh.
No, because it was humid because it had rained the day before. So we were like,
It was
fuck
stupid
this.
humid.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so-
it was hot and
yeah,
humid, so
it
we were just
was-
like, we're just going to go inside and say, screw this.
And we got married by Willie Nelson's brother.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Jeb
like a Willie
Nelson.
lookalike.
Oh, that's funny.
Jeb Nelson.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice.
I think his name was
You're just
Vinny.
making stuff
He was a
up.
really nice guy.
Cool.
He had cool horses. But anyway, we got
Speaking
that
of
was
toilets.
weird.
Yeah.
Oh, cow
there
toilets.
Was no segue from.
Speaking of toilets,
That was not a smooth segue at all. Wow.
I mean,
It's a
that's
little harsh of the segue, but it worked.
No.
that's a
Not even.
Just,
no.
just,
That's
just
kind
hang
of the
on and
substance
follow
of
along
our-
with us.
what?
What'd you say?
that's the meat and potatoes of our show is talking about bathroom shit.
Yeah, potty
Mm-hmm.
talk.
Yeah. That seems
So what
to
were
be
you
the
saying, Babe?
trend.
Oh my, yeah. I came across this weird article about cow toilets. Since you
Cow
wanted to bring up toilet talk.
Toilets?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
You
So
said, like
basically,
cowl toilets, like
cow, like
cowl
cow,
or
like moo
cow?
cow, moo cow, like bovine.
Moo
cow
cow.
toilets. Like they're
Yes.
made out of leather?
Like
What?
so, basically, it is a toilet that they collect urine and teach the cows how to use. So it's a urinal
Oh.
box. The urinal is placed in a box behind the cow, while the front is a feeding trough. Once the animal finishes eating, a robot arm stimulates a nerve near the udders, which then makes it want to urinate. So they are teaching them that if you stand here, you're going to have to piss.
Yeah.
So they'll stand there from then on, after a few times of doing it, getting stimulated. I'm like, oh shit, I got to pee. It'll piss in that box. So they're training them, through this means of
Yeah.
how to pee
So
in
they're
a
just being
box.
potty trained.
Yeah,
Right.
potty training cows.
Exactly.
But why would
So
but if you're going to potty train them, why would you do it with urine? Wouldn't you want
Yeah.
to do it with poop? Because
Yeah.
isn't that like the problem?
No.
Yeah.
Well, this is the problem: is the ammonia in the piss. There's more of that than anything else. So, and when it mixes with the shit, it's not good. It puts off a lot of ammonia, and that's one of the biggest things that's contaminating our environment. Is
Oh, I thought it
ammonia
was the
getting in.
CO2 and methane coming from their poop and farts.
Gross.
That's part of it, but the ammonia is apparently worse. It's a Dutch inventor.
A Dutch
banking
inventor?
on- yeah,
Isn't it always?
yeah, because that northern European area is a big producer of bovine, like one of their biggest import or exports.
Well, wasn't the Dutch? There was like a Dutch blue cow or something like that, where it's like a huge steroided up cow.
What?
I don't know.
It's like a humongous cow. I think it's called a Dutch blue cow or something like that. But that, and then they also have the Dutch. I think it was a Dutch scientist that ended up making that hole in the side of cows.
What?
Yeah.
What?
What
It's like
hole, huh?
like they put that plastic, like basically they essentially drill a big, like maybe 8-inch hole in the
What?
side of a cow, and it goes directly into their stomach. Like he puts a cap on it and everything. It's like he takes the cap off, reaches inside and grabs what the stomach or what's in the cow's stomach, and he's like, "All right, yeah, he's eating good, everything's healthy," and then puts the cap back on.
What the hell?
Yeah,
That's
y'all never seen that?
no.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's a real
I
thing.
think maybe I've heard about it or seen a little clip from somewhere. But this
Yeah.
thing is weird because they're just like teaching in the Netherlands. Apparently, they want to have these things because the 15 to 20 liters of urine that the cows produce a day produces a huge amount of ammonia in a country like the Netherlands, which is the world's second biggest agriculture exporter after the United States.
Oh my gosh.
So that's huge.
Huge. So it's
Huge.
like Arissa was saying, it's potty training cows, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
They
is
just
pretty
need to
crazy.
teach them how to poop in the same spot.
Yeah. That'd be nice. Yes.
Well,
Just
I don't
so you
know
can
if
capture
that's
all of it.
I don't know if that's such a big issue because they can use the shit for fertilizer. I don't know if you can use the
Yeah.
piss necessarily.
Oh yeah, I don't think you could, but
No,
you can
but
use a
still,
shit,
it would
I
be
guess.
easier. Yeah, if you could teach cows to pee in a box and teach cows to poop in a separate box, then that would at least make rounding up all their poop to use for like
yeah, there'd
fertilizer
be
and
less
stuff.
people having to shovel
Yeah.
cow shit.
Yeah.
And then it'd be a robot doing it, and then robots are just taking all of our jobs.
Michael, no, that's not going to happen. Calm down. Oh my gosh.
It's like, we want to shovel shit. They're like, no, we're gonna have a robot do it because they can do it better. Well, what am I gonna do then? I ain't been taught to do nothing else.
I've been shoveling shit for 35 odd years.
I've been
My
shoveling
401k
shit for
ain't kicked in yet.
75 years.
I'm
So-
just shaking my head. Like that's all I can do right now.
Well, beyond toilets and whatnot, I came across a story how Portugal ended its war on drugs.
How?
Do you know how?
How?
They decriminalized all drugs.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So they basically because of where they're at in Europe, they're like a a hotbed of imports for drugs and whatnot.
Okay.
So they were just like, there's no way we can stop it. We've already tried to stop it. It's not going to happen. So they're just like, you know what? We're just going to decriminalize it all.
Make it
So-
illegal?
Technically, it's still illegal, but you won't be arrested if you're caught using
Oh.
it, like small amounts of it. Like if you're dealing it, it's illegal.
Mm.
But if you're using very small amounts or you're caught with small amounts of it or something like that, it's not illegal.
Interesting.
So now this is including heroin,
Oh, my-
cocaine, of course, marijuana and stuff like
well,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything that you can think of is now decriminalized, and
Unless you're a dealer.
unless you're a dealer, of course. But they basically made a business out of it. Like
Wow.
everybody was like, "Yeah, that's how you should do it, man. That's how you make money, man." Which is how Colorado did it with marijuana. That's how California is doing it with marijuana.
'Cause
And
aren't
Portugal
they-
was just like, you know what we're going to do? We are going to basically take this money that we're making from all of this and put it towards, I think, education or something like that.
Oh.
And now they have the lowest rate of people dying from drug-related deaths.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, see, I think they did the same thing in Sweden or something like that, where they're
Yeah, something
having
like
such
that.
a huge heroin epidemic,
Yeah.
like opioids and stuff like that. So basically,
Mhm.
they opened clinics for them and offered like the clean medical grade form of heroin in as big a dose as would be allowed to not kill them, and
Yeah.
they were helped out by doctors and or nurses and qualified people like that to help them dose themselves. So, and they were monitored, but they
Yeah.
also received counseling.
Oh, good. I was about to
Yeah.
say, why are they
they
just
ba- they
encouraging
essentially-
bad behavior?
Yeah, they were essentially
Well,
weaning
but that's
people
the
off.
thing. That's the
Gotcha.
thing.
Okay.
They're avoiding encouraging or discouraging, because
Yeah.
if you encourage, obviously you're just going to exacerbate the problem. But
Right.
they don't discourage them from doing it. So basically, the stigma of them doing it is not such a harsh reality to them, and they need to get higher and higher to get away from that
Yeah.
whole reality of them
Yeah.
being stigmatized in the public's eye. So now it's not necessarily a public concern because they're not out on the streets dying in hordes from overdoses.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they
that
can
was-
go
that was
get
the thing-
the studies show that they could go get jobs and be active citizens and all
Oh,
that
wow.
shit. So it's actually been a huge, and there's been no drug related deaths since those things opened.
Yeah.
I want to say it was either very, very few or none at all.
Well, that's
So
like I
it's
said. That's the same thing with
dropped.
Portugal. Per million people, only 6 of them have died for drug-related deaths, compared to the United States' 256 per million people.
Oh my gosh.
Portugal also has the lowest drug-related death rate in all of Europe and North America.
That's wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Maybe we should take a page out of that book and just say, we'll just decriminalize it.
Yeah.
So then that would essentially end the war on drugs, because then you wouldn't need the illegal drug trade.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then the cartels would slowly fall apart and
They would lose money.
figure out something else to do.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more like statistics behind it, but that's how we're going to go with it. That if we just legalized everything would be fine.
But yeah, I doubt
Sure.
that people are going to be like happy about legalizing heroin and shit like that. It's going to be really
Right.
hard
Like,
to convince
"Oh,
the
you-
general public until they're of a certain age. Like
Yeah.
the millennials are going to be the most helpful on this, I hope,
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
because the
'cause
older generations
millennials
just have
have
always
the-
been stigmatized to think that it's not beneficial. It's the
Yeah,
sign of
they were
you being a bad
spoon-fed
person.
bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
all this
okay,
propaganda and bullshit.
Drugs are definitely wrong, and they can definitely kill people.
Yeah.
So that is not bullshit at all.
I know, but I'm just saying, like when it comes to marijuana and stuff,
Oh yeah, that's
like that was a hemp industry, and they had a hold on They made toilet paper. They made all kinds of stuff, and then the paper industry came in, and they were like, marijuana's bad, and Mexicans do marijuana. We don't want you to be a Mexican or whatever. They turn into
Yeah.
like man-eating savages if they smoke marijuana. Swear to God,
Oh.
that's real.
My gosh.
And it was like a big campaign to try to, make marijuana seem like it's evil. And it was racism backed behind it. And then, of course, they illegalized it because they were like, oh, it's bad for you.
It's a gateway
It's
drug.
terrible.
Yeah,
so then
that's
they
the whole
legalized it.
reason why it's a Schedule 1 thing. The highest classification up with like heroin.
Yeah, marijuana's on the same level as heroin
What?
in the
Yes.
FDA's eyes. Yeah.
Eyes.
No. That's
Or
not
the
even
DEA.
close
Yeah.
to in the same ballpark.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
In their eyes
the
it
reason
is.
they say that is
Well, it's
because
not.
if you're going to smoke marijuana, your chances of doing more illicit substances beyond marijuana, like cocaine, heroin, meth, shit like that, if you've likely smoked marijuana if you're going to go to that. But
Yeah.
the whole gateway thing has pretty much been debunked now, that
Yeah.
Good.
or at
Good.
least mostly, because the studies have showed that people who smoke marijuana don't necessarily move on to harder drugs.
Yeah.
The people that were going to do the harder drugs just had
gonna do 'em
access to
regardless.
marijuana first
Yeah.
Gotcha.
until
Yeah,
they were
basically
able
already going to do it.
Right. So if they had access to marijuana, or else they would have, if they were offered cocaine, they would have done cocaine first.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
it's showing that marijuana was just more accessible than these other hard drugs, but the likelihood of them doing those other drugs in the first place was far greater than the person that just smoked pot once.
Yeah. Exactly.
Interesting.
So it's
So,
a different
if they
psychology
legalized
behind it.
Well, if they legalized, not everything. You don't have to legalize heroin and shit. But I mean,
No.
if you just legalize like the stuff that gets most people in trouble, like marijuana, maybe even cocaine, because I mean, technically, it's natural, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Comes from a plant. Comes from
I'm
the same
pretty
plant
much-
that cocoa or chocolate leaves come from, right?
Yeah, they use
Or
that
Coca-
in Coca-Cola. But
Yeah.
I mean, people aren't going to be behind legalizing like hard stuff. They're going to be like heroin, but they don't realize it's still used, like in morphine.
It's just in pill form, and the pharmaceuticals sell it to you.
Yeah, exactly. So making it legal and, like I said, setting up some sort of clinic where people can use it and be
Safely.
monitored and receive
Yeah.
psychological assistance, talk to somebody why it's going on,
Yeah.
not jail them and stigmatize them so they're
We
not.
We spend too much money on the military, so we don't have money to do that kind of stuff.
No, we spend too much money on prohibition, and prohibition does
Yeah.
not work.
That's true. So basically, all the money from taxes that we got from said, like, say, marijuana sales or cocaine sales, even, you could put towards, medical centers that would help people that have drug addictions.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then your drug-related death falls, and then the need to the need for gangs to sell that stuff goes down because the black market's gone, and all that stuff. It's a pretty good process.
Well,
that-
and even like
Yeah.
the whole like recruiting kids to join gangs, like that just breaks my heart constantly, because I'm like, is there like their situation is so bad, and like, I don't know, it's just depressing. So if some of
Definitely.
that stuff becomes more legalized or decriminalized or whatever, then hopefully that will reduce the number of kids being recruited. It'll reduce the number of like gang related like shootings, drive-bys, all that stuff.
That's
Yeah.
exactly the whole point. I mean,
Yeah.
you hit the nail on the head, because the reason these
Yes.
inner city neighborhoods are like this is because a lot of them have big time drug rings going on out there. And
Yeah.
I know that it goes on all the time in the West End. Drugs are big,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people are getting put in jail and for longer
Like
and longer
mandatory minimums
sentences.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's ridiculous. Like 10 years for a marijuana charge?
Exactly.
10 years of
That's-
your life in prison because you
Yeah,
had some pot on you.
Exactly. And then,
That's
it
crazy.
screws up these,
Well,
people's
like,
color out
you know-
there, and then they're like, they're just
well,
sent
of
to jail.
course.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I was saying with the mandatory minimum, you get 10 years with marijuana. So a marijuana charge, I don't know exactly what the charge is, but I know it has to do with marijuana, and you get like 10 years, which is the same as armed robbery.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So you're not hurting anybody. It's a I think is it a what is it called? A non-violent drug offense? Right?
Yeah.
So
Non-violent.
it's like that,
drug
and you can
offense.
get up to 10 years in prison, which is
Yeah,
the
I
same
knew a guy
as that you
when
could
I
get
worked in-
if you had a gun and tried
It's
to rob somebody.
ridiculous.
That's so
It's like the
stupid.
same that this dude that I was with in TDCJ when I worked for as a prison guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this trusty inmate. You know, he'd go around and give us food and sweep the area we were operating in and everything like that.
Yeah.
And we called him Sunshine because he had really like kind of sad eyes, and he like very rarely smiled and talked kind of slow. So we called him Sunshine. I was like, "What's up, Sunshine? What'd you do to get in here, man?" He's like, boss man, I got caught selling weed." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, I was selling a little bit of weed. I got 10 years." I was like, "You kidding me?" He's like, "No." And another kid I found, he had just over the limit that could be determined distributable, I guess. And he had a scale. And he got like, I think he got 10 years too, or like 8 years. I can't remember.
If you have an intent to distribute with
Yeah,
marijuana,
that's what it was.
I believe the mandatory minimum is 10 years.
Yeah, I think
Can you
that's what it
imagine that?
was. But he was in a
10 years
school
of your
zone.
life.
He was in a school zone too when he got
Oh,
popped.
shit.
Oh wow.
So I think he might have gotten 15, but he could go for parole at 10
Yeah.
or something like that. But I was like, Jesus, kid. And I was like, how old are you? He's like, 22. I was like, oh my God.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's rough, man.
It's like, Jesus.
That's just crazy how people are allowing this shit to. And you know what's really even more messed up is that most of the prisons, I said prisms.
I know.
Most of the prisons actually are owned by private companies.
Really?
Yeah. Most of them are owned by private companies, and they have I forgot what the actual name of it is. But anyways, these companies basically own all of the prisons. So essentially it's like slavery. You know what I mean? Like they make all these people like work for like next to nothing, so why would they want to give up
quarters.
Yeah.
They get like 60 cents a day and stuff like that, and they make like cabinetry. At the prison I was at, they had woodworking, like wood shop. They made beautiful cabinets, beds.
Yeah.
They had like a trade school program type thing to teach them like be electricians and plumbers and welders and shit.
Yeah.
And then they had like the guys that would go out and work like the pig farms and stuff like that, and those dudes got like 60 cents a day
Oh
or
my
60
God.
Yeah,
cents
see? That's like slave
Yeah.
labor.
per hour, so they could get commissary and
It's like buy
you know
their own
because they had
foods
like
and stuff.
special food there. Yeah, so they had special foods there like ramen noodles and candy bars and sodas and shit,
Yeah.
which was insane to me that they could get sodas. Because, you know, I think they were sodas in a can. You know, swing that thing around, bash your fucking melon in.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like, yeah, because I was in several major uses of force,
yeah.
and that was not a cool thing.
Well, they also had like, I was told that they could buy like, you know, like washing material. Like he said, somebody told me it was called State soap.
Okay.
I guess it's like it's a bar of soap that you can buy, and
Yep.
it's like it like dries your skin out like crazy.
Oh, dude, that's what these guys would use for glue.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like they would make... These guys were ingenious because they were so bored, had so much time on their hand, that they actually would make their own speakers.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember you
And
telling me about that.
I shit you
Their own
not. Some of them...
speakers?
Yes, some of them would make them so powerful and like accurate because they'd done it so many times. I shit you not, you couldn't determine one from another when you compared it against like a Bose or a Sony.
Huh.
And they just did it out of like what wires and
Yeah, they took like out of a headphone.
yeah.
They would take all the wire out of it because it's like this really thin, delicate copper.
Yeah.
And they would wind it around the back end. They would make like a little tube that they'd wind it around and have a magnet and basically, it reverberates like a normal speaker.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
like they'd
gosh.
make like their own little speaker boxes. They'd make pretty good sized ones. And I swear to God, like the sound was clear as day through their radios.
That's just
Yeah, they
crazy.
weren't supposed to have them, but I was like, man, those are freaking cool. Like one of them sat down and showed me how to make it one day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I've also heard that
Yeah.
they've like they're able to like they get these newspapers and they roll them up so tight and hard like it turns into like a shank.
Shit, yeah.
Oh
Like,
my
they
Dude,
can,
I've
like,
seen
make
them.
it into like a
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
Did you realize I was in administrative segregation, so I had like the toughest dudes didn't leave but 1 hour. We'd go out and do physical exercise with them and hang out with them in their little cages while they. God, it was like literally watching zoo animals. It's so crazy. And we'd bring them back in. They get the shower and they go back in. So basically, they were only out for 1 hour a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I had a lot of time on my hands between counts. So I actually made a crossbow out of paper one day.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you had plenty of time, but you were just there for a job, so you got to go home. These guys are there all the time. You can only imagine what they can make.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sheesh.
I've heard a
And
lot
I
of
was like,
stories.
it's not like I was even being careful about it. I was making it right in front of them. It's probably not the best idea. They were like, God damn, he's good. He
Yeah.
can make. Let me see that.
Yeah, you're like, no, I'm all right.
Wow.
But
that's,
I took it home. I took it home in pieces, and I assembled it there. So I didn't really I didn't use anything that I couldn't have gotten in the prison, and I shot it against a mattress, and it was like thunk. I was like, damn, this could hurt. This could fuck somebody up.
Yeah.
Imagine what these guys are making that's better than mine.
No
Oh my
shit.
gosh.
Well, like
There
I
was
said, I've heard of-
tattoo guns. It was eye opening how ingenuitive these guys can get.
Yeah, I've heard about the tattoo gun thing.
Yeah,
Like, they actually they take like the ink, or no, they make the ink
yeah.
out of something. I forgot what it was.
They
Like some
take
kind of
like
powder.
take crushed up something and mix
Add, like,
it
some
with
water and stuff and
whatever.
or whatever.
Yeah,
And they make like tattoo guns out of again newspaper, rubber bands, just little
Yep.
things. It's just crazy how you can make shit like that when you have nothing.
yep.
But anyways, that's like another podcast though for sure, because I want to get somebody on that has been in prison for a while, and I want to get his ideas on it. But anyways, I wanted to play a
Yeah,
quick
it'd be
game with you
interesting
guys.
to get it from the other side.
Yeah, I wanted to get it from him because he's also he did I think 10 years, and I mean he was awesome. So, but anyways, like I said, I wanted to play a game with you guys.
Okay.
It's called Oldest Animals.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you two answers, and you guys pick which one you think it is. All right. So the oldest dog ever. The average lifespan of a dog is what, 13 to 15 years, something like that. So
Ish.
was this dog? It's an Australian cattle dog.
Okay.
Was he 30 years old or 27 years old?
30?
Okay.
I'm gonna go 27 on that.
You're gonna go 27.
Yeah,
The answer is 30.
Yaha!
Yeah, this
Oh my
dog was 30
gosh.
years old. Australian cattle dog named Bluey.
Bluey, aw.
Yeah.
So what is that in dog years? Like, what is
It'd
it?
be the equivalent of you being like
Ancient.
164.
Whoa.
Yeah.
is that what it said? 164.
That's the equivalent. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. I
Yeah.
bet you. Oh, I bet you that was sad when it died.
yeah.
30 years old. That's a long time for a dog
That's
to be
like
around.
two.
Piper,
that's
you
two
better live that
generations.
long.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
lot,
right.
man.
Dude, that's like my kids getting to see my dog grow up,
Yeah.
or my
Piper's
dog
just
getting to
looking
see
at
my
me.
kids grow up. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Go to
I
college
sure.
and everything.
I hope. Yeah, I hope Muggy lives that long too.
I hope Piper lives that long. You can do it, Piper. I believe in you.
Oh,
Look at your
thank
little tail
But
wagging.
anyways,
Aw.
the oldest bird,
Okay.
okay?
What kind of
Oh
bird?
yeah, they get old.
Is it 68 years old or 35 years
Well,
old.
what kind of bird?
68.
Just the oldest bird.
Oh, 68.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is 68. It's an albatross named Wisdom.
Albatross. Oh, wow.
That is the oldest bird.
Big ass. Dude, birds have long lifespans. Petey, that parakeet my mom had,
Mm-hmm.
or was it was a cockatiel.
It was a cockatiel. That's right.
Yeah, the little yellow fringe on the top.
Yeah.
That bird lived for a long time. I think that thing lived for 12, 13 years before it died.
Yeah.
But birds live a long ass time too.
Hmm.
Like those macaws and gray parrots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They can live for 100 years.
Yeah. They can live for
They can live as old as you.
well. This is the oldest bird ever, 68 years old. I don't think they could live to 100 years.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, well, maybe I'm wrong. I guess maybe that was a myth.
the oldest shark
Okay.
is it 258 years old
Oh.
or 512 years old?
The older one.
512.
Yeah.
This is a shark.
Oh my. I don't want it to be 500 just because that terrifies me, but that's going to be my answer, the 512.
Yes, it is 512 years old.
No. I am never
Yeah.
swimming
It is a-
again.
Greenland shark in the North Atlantic, and
Oh
they
my
estimate
gosh.
it to be at least 512 years old.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Well,
never
how can
swimming.
they estimate that? Just based on the size and the shape of it?
No, they do carbon dating. You know, they test.
Oh, like they catch it and take a sample or something?
Yeah, they take samples from it and they try to see, like, they can kind of guess on how old it is. They've gotten pretty accurate with it too, but
That's crazy to think it's something that ancient, basically.
in the water, yeah, it's.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
so.
that's what is it? That means it's been through humans going from living in huts to what we are now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know what I
Wow.
mean? It was, what was it? It was basically alive right after Columbus found America.
1492.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just coming in. It
Yeah.
was just a youngster back then.
Oh
You know?
my.
So he was probably
gosh.
swimming in the
Fucking
water
bitches
when,
and making money.
when Columbus was sailing the ocean blue or whatever.
In 1492. Sorry.
1492.
So, the oldest tree, is it 10,000 years old or is it 5,000 years old?
10.
It's got to be 10.
No, it's 5.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I was doing so good.
Until 2013, it's called a Methacella. It's an ancient bristlecone pine. It was oldest known non-clonal organism on Earth. It still stands
what
as
does that mean?
basically it's a like you know how trees essentially they like weeds and stuff, they essentially clone themselves because they're like certain things that are asexual, and then they basically just give off like a seed, and it basically just sprouts a new one of it.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
You know, some plants do that or whatever. And some animals do that, like bacteria and stuff. But this is the oldest non-clonal organism. So basically, it's the oldest thing on Earth that doesn't
Wow.
clone itself.
That's crazy.
No, that's. It says the trunk itself is the same age as the root system.
Yeah.
Unlike the previously mentioned trees, non-clonal trees do not practice cloning.
Mm-hmm.
They do not reproduce asexually.
Yeah.
So how do they reproduce?
With seeds.
With
Seeds
seeds.
and pollen?
Oh. So, but trees do that too, don't they?
Yeah, seeds and pollen.
But how do they reproduce?
What do you mean?
Non-colonial ones.
Oh, I don't know. So I guess we'll move on to it, man. So another question is, what is the oldest turkey?
Oldest turkey? Okay.
Oldest turkey.
I feel like they're kind of
Is it-
dumb, so they don't live very long.
Is it 13 years old or is it 24 years old?
13.
I'm gonna go 24.
The answer is 13.
Yes.
Of course,
Paul,
the average lifespan of a turkey is 3 to 5 years old. So this one only lived to 13.
it's extraordinarily old. See, I figured they died
Oh
pretty young.
my gosh.
They died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They died young. That's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one of those. That was like another thing where turkeys, like, isn't it true that when they look up to the sky when it's raining, they can drown themselves?
Oh yeah, yeah, they can. 'Cause
I've
they're
heard
so
that is
dumb.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard that's true too.
Yeah, they got to put
They're so dumb.
shiny shit down on the ground so they'll peck at it, so they'll eat.
Yeah.
Like when they're this is
Oh my
captivity.
gosh.
This is captivity. They're really dumb in captivity apparently because they don't have like the wild to teach them their instincts, I guess,
Yeah.
or for their
Okay.
instincts to kick in the wild. So because a wild turkey, they eat just fine. They eat bugs and all kinds of shit, and they don't do that looking up when it's fucking raining because they're not dumb. But
Yeah.
they're really cool to observe, though. Like when I'm hunting them, I was talking with a hen last year. I got a video of it. It's actually kind of neat. I didn't even kill one. I was just watching them because they're pretty cool. They're
You were-
fucking
Like
weird looking.
you didn't kill any?
No, I didn't kill any.
But you were talking with a hen.
Mm-hmm.
Like with
Actually, I
like
called in
calls?
I called in a couple of toms, but I didn't feel like shooting them because they were a little small.
Oh,
So it
That's
was
funny
super
that-
fun though. That's probably
You're
one of
weird.
my more favorite hunting seasons is turkey season because it's pretty challenging.
I've never been
because they're
turkey
because they're
hunting.
so dumb.
If you move here, we can all go turkey hunting.
Oh my
God.
gosh, thinking about it.
Well, I was actually, you know what? Because when we talked about eradicating certain animals last week,
yeah.
Yeah.
you know, I forgot about fire ants.
Oh,
Oh
yes. Those need to get. That's number 100%.
Yeah.
For me, it's still mosquitoes, but
That's-
I
still
would
say
rather
mosquitoes,
have
but a
mosquitoes.
close
I would
second
rather
would be
have
fire ants.
mosquitoes. I would rather have
I
mosquitoes.
wouldn't.
Or genetically modify mosquitoes so they could fuck up the fire ants.
That'd be awesome.
That
If you-
would
if you
be.
Go
could
after
kill
them.
2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
Like mosquitoes
Wipe out
would
a bunch
just
of mosquitoes.
mosquitoes would wipe out the fire ants, or at least
And
the
fire ants
majority,
would
and
fight
then
back and kill a lot of mosquitoes.
exactly.
Put them in a
It'd-
ring, see
It'd
what
be
happens.
like perfect balance.
Yeah.
Like the mosquitoes would just be slightly faster and a little stronger than the ants, but the ants still had brute power, and every once in a while could
Numbers.
catch them.
Yeah.
So they.
'Cause I was thinking about that because I saw
That's a
'cause-
ridiculous, epic, like Disney cartoon almost.
Well, I saw this thing the other day. It was talking about how, you know, like the Southern American states, you know, that fire ant is not native to us.
Really?
It's not native to this area. It came here in the 30s and 40s from South America on a trade ship, and it got dropped in none other than Mobile, Alabama.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, Mobile, Alabama is what brought fire ants upon us.
Thanks,
Really?
Mobile. Appreciate
Well, because
y'all.
of the humidity levels and temperature and, like, you know, grasslands or whatever. I don't know what it was, but the fire ants thrived and they spread, and now they're all over the southern United States.
So because they like the hot, moist environments like Louisiana, Arkansas, and Georgia, all them southern states like that,
Yeah,
and Texas.
Thanks, Mobile.
and Texas. Yeah, we got fire ants
Yeah.
pretty freaking bad down here. So and you know that fire ants, you know, they don't just bite you. That's not what gets you. It's the sting.
No, it's they
have
sting.
stingers. Yeah, they have
Ah.
stingers on their back, and so
Yeah,
that's
they're
what hurts.
nasty little
And they're
bastards.
in the same, yeah, and they're the
Oh,
same
I'm getting
class as bees
goosebumps.
and wasps and scorpions.
What?
hmm
What? I'm
Bastards.
getting goosebumps. I don't like this conversation.
I hate fire ants so much,
Oh, great.
so much.
Yeah, they're bastards.
We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with some more Pull It Back podcast.
Yeah.
And welcome back to the Pull It Back podcast. I actually wanted to talk really quick about my idea of how to make money. So
Okay.
instead of just getting paid money from whoever thinks you should get paid a certain amount, like it being arbitrary to where, you know, say you sign up for a job, they're like, all right, we're going to pay you $15 an hour to sit behind a desk and do nothing really all day. Well,
Yeah.
what if if people that have physical labor jobs, which are some of the hardest jobs, what if they got paid by calories burned? Like say, so if you have a much
That'd
more
be a
physical
different-
job, like you'd get paid
Yeah.
more depending on how many calories is burned during the workday.
Well, would it?
Yeah.
My question is, would it apply to like people who are naturally thin? Because you don't really want them losing more weight.
Well, it's not necessarily about how much weight you lose. It's just how many
It's just about
calories you
calories
burn in a
burned.
day.
But if you're, I don't know, I could see how that would be a problem. Because like thinner peeper, oh my gosh,
I mean, they
thinner
still
people.
eat. They're not eating.
No, I know, but like heavier people have more to lose, obviously. So if they're working extra hard, then they have the potential to like burn more calories and earn more money than a skinny
What's wrong with that?
person.
Well, like I said, I mean, you can still be skinny and work like construction and do all that stuff and burn more calories than a person that's sitting behind a desk and doing nothing all day. You're still eating. You're not just burning calories and losing weight all day.
I know. I'm just whatever. Never mind.
I'm just saying,
So
like,
the
if you're a
people,
construction
the,
worker,
the skinny
you'd make
people
more
are just
money.
going to have to eat more than a heavier set person would. But
If
it would
they're doing
encourage
something-
weight loss
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Like
a
if you have
healthier
like a
lifestyle.
construction worker,
Maybe not.
busting their ass all day, and then they're burning like 500, 600, 700 calories a day, being out in the sun and moving equipment and stuff. And he has somebody sitting behind a desk, which is like just typing on a computer and stuff, burning maybe 300 a day.
But I think you need to go back to what you said. I think that needs to only apply to like the physical labor fields, like trades and stuff,
Yeah.
like welding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like in an office environment, you can't measure that as accurately, I feel
Yeah.
like that's kind of disproportionate on that for office workers
Mm.
who generally, I don't know, make a little bit more money, I guess, or more educated. So you can't measure, using your brain versus physical.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So
I'm just
you'd
saying,
still
like,
have
if
to
you
pay
had
them fair salaries.
yeah, well, of course, because I mean, it depends on like their security levels, what they're doing for said company. But my thing is that if it was in the physical labor field, and you have, everybody has Fitbits, and it's all recording how many calories you're burning in a day, and it's like you got somebody like that would encourage people to not only work harder but work faster and just bust their ass all day, because the harder they're busting their ass and the harder they're working, the more money they make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of like that now, I guess. But I mean, it's not necessarily based on calories. Like, so if somebody's burning 1,200 calories a day, they'd get paid more than the guy that's only burning 800 calories a day.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't think a Fitbit actually measures, the different types of body weight. It just measures your heart rate, and it's like, oh, well, you're probably burning this many calories.
So
I
what are
thought
they
that'd
going to
be
get
cool.
paid? What are you going to pay them? Like $1 per calorie?
Oh no,
50
I don't know.
cents a calorie?
I don't know. I'm just saying, that'd be neat. So I mean,
You'd see a lot of really in shape people.
yeah. Well, I mean, in the construction field, yeah, because there's a lot of people in the construction field that aren't very in shape.
Yeah, but they
They're just-
should be
they're
because
sitting
they're
there.
out there busting their ass.
I know, that's what's
They
crazy.
just eat unhealthy shit.
I know they just eat Twinkies all day long from gas stations,
Yeah, I
and then
know.
a
I
ham
used to
sandwich
do
for
that
lunch,
shit.
and then that's it.
Yeah, I used to do that shit. Trust me, I know.
I know, but when you're working that hard, man, you crave disgusting things because you need
You just need
replace those
carbs.
calories. Yeah. So you need those Twinkies, you need that cream, and you need those snowballs.
But I was still under 200 pounds.
Oh, not bad.
I was
That's
like
even with
185.
eating fried chicken every day.
Yeah, that's like eating bullshit.
Yeah,
It's still like 185 pounds for like
exactly.
4 or 5 years.
I know this is kind of going off topic, but I was thinking, you know how we always used to go to SeaWorld? Well, not
Yeah.
always, but we went a couple times.
Several times, yeah.
Why is it that every time I went to SeaWorld, I always got the shits?
I don't
Like
know. Did you eat anything there?
Explosive.
Ew,
No,
stop.
I mean, sometimes, but not all the time.
Oh my god.
It was like explosive diarrhea every time I went, though.
Oh my god. Speaking of explosive diarrhea, have I got a little tale for you two?
Okay.
Lovely.
So I was at this place doing a job, and I had to take a nasty shit. So apparently they had just built this bathroom for them, and I guess it was malfunctioning, or they were having trouble with the drains or something. However, I only learned of this after my incident. So I was in there, I was like, oh my God. Sat down, took a big nasty shit, and I was sitting there, scrolling on my phone, looking at stupid shit, and I hear like a bubbling, like bloop, 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 bloop. I was like, what
God.
the hell is that? And I just kept going. About 4 or 5 seconds later, I hear bloop, bloop, bloop. I was like, what the hell? Is this thing bubbling or leaking or something? I was looking around like, what the fuck? And then I hear bloop, and I was like, oh, shit. My shit splashed all the way back up into my asshole and on my legs and my balls.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, son of a bitch.
Ew.
And I'm not sure if it was just my shit or somebody else's shit got up back through the pipe.
Oh my God.
I felt it go back up in my asshole, so I probably got hepatitis or something. But
Ew.
You
no
had somebody
shit.
else's poop up in you?
I hope to God it was
Oh my
just that
gosh.
bubble blowing up my turd. Because
Oh
it was pretty
my
forceful. Like, it
gosh.
shot up the butt a little bit. And it was like, I was like, what the fuck? So I got up and I was dripping. Like, I didn't get any on my pants, thank God. And I was wiping myself with 10,000 freaking paper towels. And, oh my God, I was like, fuck. I was just so angry. That's the most, like, angry and disgusted I've been in a long time. I came home and took, like, a long, hot shower and just
Oh God.
let the water cascade over my asshole.
Ew. Ew, 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 ew,
It's like,
ew.
I
It was
gotta get this
so
off of me.
disgusting.
Ew. Ew.
I was like, what the fuck? And of course, there was no toilet paper, so I was just going to use paper towels.
Yeah.
But it was.
So you basically
just,
so
oh,
to recap.
God.
Let's not recap.
So
Do
to
we have
recap,
no.
You
Ugh.
you had bubbles in your stomach, and then you like basically power shit into the toilet, and it made such an impact. It basically splashed back up into your butthole and all over your legs and taint
And
oh my
balls.
gosh.
and balls.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't think
Wow.
it was the force of the shit, but you could definitely argue that I farted before shitting.
Hmm.
I'm
You're not
so
gonna, you're not gonna,
Anyway.
you're not going to convince me.
We'll talk later.
Poop definitely pushes the farts out. Now,
Yes.
I know what you wanted to. You wanted to ask some things.
Oh yeah. So, I have like. Okay, so I have a few would you rather questions, but
All right.
before that, I did want to know. Okay, so there was one question that is not a would you rather. The question is, if you could learn the answer to one question about your future, what would the question be?
Who's asking the question? Or who's answering my question?
God.
Mm,
And he would not be cryptic, he would be clear as
Does
day
it has to be about my life, or could it just be a question about anything?
about your future. So it could be you specifically or your generation, I'm guessing, but let's just stick with personal.
Okay.
Like, what would you choose to learn about your personal future, my personal future, Andy's personal future?
Huh.
Yeah.
That's a tough question. I'd probably say like, do we go to war with Russia or something?
Oh my gosh.
I guess I would ask about the
Do zombies come
apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say.
Like,
Is
is
it
it
like
going
a
to be a,
nuclear
like a
apocalypse?
viral outbreak? Zombies? He's like, no, expired hot dogs. And you're like, what?
Oh my
Everybody
gosh.
gets
Expired hot
got by everybody gets caught by this crazy mutated bacteria from expired hot dogs. Everybody dies.
Ew. Lovely.
It's not very
Well-
painful. You just shit yourself to death in about 2 seconds.
It's like everything just you basically turn inside out.
you
It's
you
nasty.
shit yourself into a
Ew.
black hole.
Yeah.
Ew. Oh,
It's like, so buckle up.
stop. Oh, gosh. Well, Okay, so I would probably want to know. I can't narrow it down further than this. I would either want to know, like the exact number of children that Mike and I are going to have, because I just want two. I want a boy and a girl. That's it. That's all I want. So I would want to confirm that with the good Lord up above. So either that question, or I would also want to know if, like the end of times, like if the Revelation end of times, is that going to happen during our lifetime?
What do you mean, like we get zapped up into? Right?
Zapped? What?
Well, it basically like all the people could just get like picked up and your clothes are just laying on the floor.
Yeah,
It's
like the
where'd he
Left
go?
Behind.
Get raptured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Left Behind movies.
Yeah.
Yes, raptured. Why couldn't I think of the word? Good grief.
That'd be scary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta,
so
you gotta
th-
step
those are
your,
the two-
your Christian game up. I'm not even a
My
church
Christian game?
goer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, my brain doesn't always like to cooperate with me. So,
Yeah, man, it's an off day, so we're just
yeah.
whatever.
I
Yeah.
haven't showered today, man.
I
So,
did shower. I smell
Good for
fresh
you.
to
I
death.
didn't.
Mhm.
So
Oh.
I'm not stimulated like I usually am after a good cold shower.
Uh-huh.
So,
Cold shower. Blech.
yeah, I love cold
Yeah,
showers.
what are you?
Want a
a-
melting hot
Okay,
shower.
Oh
Stop.
my
All
goodness,
right.
you're communist.
So, I have a couple of would you rathers. So, let's see. Would you rather be infamous in history books or be forgotten after your death?
What do you mean
Well,
infamous?
the other.
So famous for
pretty-
something like horrendous.
Oh.
At least that's what I
Oh.
believe. Yeah.
Hmm.
So would you
Yeah.
be? Yeah, like would you rather be
How
remembered for
horrendous, like
something
Stalin-esque?
Probably.
or Hitler-esque? Yeah, or just something like I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I think I don't know if they were like, if it on my tombstone and in history books, it was like he left the peanut butter out too long and it got hard. I mean, maybe that.
The fuck.
But that would not go in history books.
You
So
left
yes,
the
it would have to be on like a countrywide or a worldwide scale.
Yeah.
Andy, stop!
That
Well,
was
I mean, if
such
you
a
have it on the world-
ridiculous. That was such a
But that would not go
ridiculous
down in
example.
history.
Okay, so if it's on the worldwide scale, he'd
Yeah.
be like, if it read, he basically cut off the peanut butter supply. So basically, there's
wouldn't
no more peanut
complain.
butter in the world.
Okay, that's fine with me.
I don't know. That'd be rough.
That would suck. I love peanut butter.
There'd be no more Reese's cups. There'd be no more peanut butter.
Fine, take it away.
Well, you don't like peanut butter, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Shut up.
You're just like, yeah, that's fine.
That's rude.
Yeah, yeah. I'll totally be.
But I'd be like a hero to people that are allergic to peanut butter.
Yeah.
It'd be
Or
like
peanuts.
they're coming out of the woodwork. Michael,
We're
let us worship you.
Oh my gosh.
We're free.
Okay. Anywho, so answers.
No, I'd rather just be forgotten.
Me too.
Yeah, I think I would rather be forgotten.
Yeah. Because
Because you're gonna be forgotten anyway in like 3 generations.
But
Yeah.
what if my deeds were actually good deeds? It was just not appreciated by the people I fought, so I was infamous.
Kind of like
Like kind of an anti-hero type thing.
like the Confederacy
like
during the Civil
Hitler.
War.
Like I take down the government, but I kill a bunch of people on accident and stuff.
on accident.
But yeah,
It's like turns the world out for a better, but you're just not remembered as that.
yeah, like in that video game where he gets like electricity powers. I think it's called Infamous, and
Oh.
he like fucks up the bad guys, but he does it in kind of a bad way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That the good guys don't like it, so he kind of fights both of them at sometimes. So he's
Or
like
maybe
an anti-hero.
Well, maybe sometime in
Like
the future
Deadpool.
they'll like recognize it, or sometime in the future they will turn against you and be like, "Take it down, take a statue down. We don't need
Well, that's usually how it goes. I'm going to be like a controversial figure. Then they'll see my actions for exposing a terrible government or whatever, and then I'll be infamous.
So
for a
what's your
while, and then
answer?
they'll be like
it."
famous.
So what's your answer?
Yeah.
Infamous?
What's your answer?
My answer is I'll probably just
Fade away into the
be
darkness.
worm food,
Okay.
and nobody will remember except maybe my family.
Well, like I said,
Okay.
it only lasts 3 generations, and then you'll be gone. No one will
Yeah.
remember you.
Okay. So next, would you rather know the history of every object you touched or be able to talk to animals?
Ooh. I think I want the know the history of every object you've touched. I think that'd
What
be
if-
interesting because I like history.
So, what if you're sitting on a nasty, filthy, like park bench where a lot of people, did drugs, had sex, all that stuff? You would want to know.
If you went to a
every single-
hotel and laid down in the hotel
Yes,
bed.
I would. I would exactly want to know that, so I didn't fucking sleep there or knew how to
But you would
sanitize
have
it
to
properly.
touch it in order to find that out.
Well, you don't have to touch it with your face. You can
Yeah,
touch
you
it with your
do.
fingers.
Face first.
Oh, is
just
that
bleh.
is that the caveat to this?
You got to touch it with your nose. It's like
It's
you
the
got to lick it.
exception.
Ew, ew.
Yeah,
You
lick
got to
it.
put your eyeball on it,
Ew, no.
Yeah, it's
no.
like you have to lick whatever you want to know the history of.
Gosh.
and
no,
then you
it
have
just
to
Like
says
the bottom of
touch.
this couch.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to lick the toilet seat.
Well, so that's better just not knowing. So then that's just like not knowing if you have to lick it. Like
Yeah.
I am not licking the bottom of that shoe to see where it fucking came from.
Yeah.
You just
Well,
see
like I said,
dog shit
I'd rather
all
have that.
over
I'd rather
it.
have the history thing, Meg, because if you talk to animals, like, do you know how stupid those conversations would be?
Yeah,
But
they're
it would
not
be
intelligent.
fun.
They don't.
Yeah,
They
like I
don't
said, they're not
automatically
intelligent.
become more intelligent just because you can hear what they're saying.
Well, okay. So me personally, I actually would like to be able to talk to animals, especially if that would also give them a little bit more intelligence, just so we could have like a full blown conversation. Like that's what I would like.
I think they would say the same words over and over again.
Kind of like
Yeah,
Doug from
They'd be like,
Up,
"Go outside,
Yeah.
the dog.
outside,
Like-
outside, 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 bark."
Oh my
Where
God.
you threw-
Where you
you
going?
threw a dog word in
Wag
there.
my
Where you
tail,
going?
wag my tail.
Where are we going?
Did you?
I'm hungry. I'm hungry. That's it. It's just food, sleeping.
Yeah,
and
just
then
hey, human,
running around. That's it.
hey,
Yeah.
there's somebody outside, human.
Like anything,
Don't
like
worry.
if you went to a zoo and it's like giraffes are just like the whole time, and they're just like like they just don't ever talk or anything. They just
And then you try to talk to him, you're like, "Hey, man," and it's like, and then it sticks out its tongue, and it's like, trying to reach
Ew.
leaves.
Gosh.
like they always make noises now, like that you could talk to them. Like they make noises like we would if we were reaching for like branches of.
And then they're like, they get it, they're like,
Can you imagine like a dog barking at night? It just wouldn't be like background noise, like bark, bark, bark. It'd be like, hey, hey. It'd be somebody like
I
screaming.
know, that's what I
out.
was saying. Yeah, I'd be like, "Hey, hey, human,
No, I don't want
are you
that.
seeing
I don't
this
want to do
shit,
that.
human?"
Well, okay.
It'd
So,
be rid-
have y'all seen
they
the
wouldn't
movie,
be interesting
The
and
Se-
compelling. They, have you seen my dog?
Yes.
He'd be looking at me like, Dad. I'm like, fucking what, Muggsy?
Nothing.
Like, I go side now.
Well, okay. Have y'all seen the movie The Secret Life of Pets?
No.
Yes.
No? Yes. Okay. So
Yes.
if animals could have full blown conversations like that with humans, then yes, I would want that ability.
Yeah.
But if it's
But
just
I'm saying
hearing
them talking. I'm saying them talking, you've been able to understand what they're saying through their language, doesn't make them smarter than their species. Like, it'd probably only work on, like, monkeys. Like,
Even
you could
then.
actually have a conversation with them.
Well, even then, monkeys.
But like a
wouldn't.
dog, I feel like you'd try some higher level speaking, and they'd be like, "I don't understand."
Probably.
But that's what I said earlier. If my being able to communicate with them, if that would give them more intelligence for us to be able to have an intellectual conversation.
Yeah, like if it was Dr. Doolittle
Yeah.
level, then yeah, probably. But, well, no, that'd be too many people to talk to. I don't want to talk to that many people and animals.
Yeah, piss on that.
I would just want to know the history stuff. That'd be cool. Like go to the Alamo and stuff and just start touching the walls, or having to lick them if you had to.
Oh my gosh.
It's like,
I mean, I
wow.
guess it would be cool to go to like historic places.
like going to a museum would be totally different.
Yeah. You'd be
Just,
like,
touching stuff.
oh my God, that's
or
so
if
interesting.
you were punching in your pin at like a gas station, filling up gas, you would know the history of every single one of those buttons.
Or every person
Ooh.
that touched it.
Yes.
That's pretty interesting. See?
Yeah.
So you could be a serious robber if you wanted to do that use that for evil.
True.
Of course you would
Or
think
you
of
could be
that.
like a really good, like, what is it, detective?
Yeah, private eye or something. Yeah.
Ooh. Or
Shaman.
a business analyst. I don't know.
Analyst, you moron.
I can read the history of all these stocks.
Oh my gosh.
My
All right.
gosh.
So, next question. Would you rather donate your body to science or donate your organs to people who need them?
Neither.
You are so selfish.
No, I'm not, because what if
Yeah.
they go in for a routine procedure and they're just like, how about, well, a couple people need some lungs. We can be getting money for it. Maybe we'll just let them die on the table.
Oh my gosh.
This rich billionaire guy needs a liver, and this guy's mashes. Let's just let him
Yeah.
die. Call
Yeah,
it, doctor.
Alex Jones, for sure.
Pull
Alex
the plug.
Jones style.
Y'all are just ruining all of my questions. Oh my gosh.
They're all supposed to be good-hearted. It's like, oh, I donate my liver to somebody in need. And it's like,
I think
nah,
I am
man,
an organ
the
donor,
government's
so I
after
hope
us.
to
Y'all
Yeah,
are
hope to
morons.
God they don't actually he's ugly as shit. Let's just take him.
Yeah, let's just take his life. We don't need him around. He's like not really helping.
He doesn't do a whole lot. Look how fat.
So,
He's
answers?
just gonna be a burden. So I'd still.
Apparently I am.
I'd donate my body to science. I think.
Okay.
I'm not going to sign it though, just in case.
Well, I would like to be able to donate my organs to people who need them.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
'cause-
I'd
I think I might only donate to science, maybe.
Well, I think I'd probably rather donate my organs to somebody that needs it, just because, if you don't, they just end up throwing that shit away anyway.
yeah, so might as well put
How
them to
often
good
do you
use.
seriously... Sorry,
What?
Mhm.
what was that, Carissa?
I forgot.
I was speaking.
Memory of a goldfish. I
Oh.
forgot.
Good God. Anyway, it's like, I wonder how many confirmed actual cases of people being let go on the operating table, or they could have saved him, but they were like, let's not, because he's a good match for this. Like, how often do you think that really happens?
I think it does happen.
It probably
I
does,
bet
but
it does.
There's
I would
a
hope that
there's
it
a-
doesn't happen very often.
I'm like I said, I think there's a very dark
One in a
world
million.
when it comes to like very rich people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a lot of power. When they have that much money, they can do whatever the hell they want. And I've
Yeah.
seen it firsthand, so I think that does happen every once in a while. People
Every
just don't
once
talk
in a
about
while.
it.
Like,
yeah.
they're like them trying to get into college, paying their kids' ways through. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, my kid needs a heart. They're going to... Some motorcycle accident, they could have saved potentially,
Well, yeah.
but they just go ahead and let him go because there was nothing more they could do and just take his heart. And
Yeah,
what
and
does
it's
the
like,
family
this guy
know?
doesn't have insurance.
They
Just
could
let him
just-
go.
Yeah, well, what does the doctor say to the family? I'm like, well, there's no more we could do. How the
Yeah.
fuck are they going to know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Well, then also you got to think like, people are probably like, no, that doesn't happen. Like they could never do that. They have an oath. It's like, yeah, but you don't understand, because they did also have an oath when they were like this recent thing where all these celebrities and rich people were like paying millions of dollars for them to go to college, to like
Yeah.
specific colleges. Like
Right.
their kids like obviously were way too dumb, and they didn't get accepted
Or
to these
not
colleges.
athletic.
So they were like, I'll give you $1 million. I'll donate $1 million to this school if you let my daughter go to it, like, because I want her to go to USC. The whole family's going
No,
to USC.
they weren't
or
even
whatever.
donating. I didn't see that they were donating. What I saw was they were paying off
The coaches and
the coaches
faculty
and test
stuff.
takers,
Yeah,
like the test administrators. They were, or proctors or whatever they're called.
yeah,
They were paying them exorbitant amounts of money to pass their children.
Yeah.
So it looked like they got like scholarships or were accepted at this Ivy League school, like USC and shit like that.
yeah.
And they were also bribing coaches and paying off coaches like big money to say that their kids were this, that, and the other, and a 1A champion or whatever on the football
Yeah.
team. And they weren't shit.
Yeah,
One of them was
they
a
weren't doing
tennis
anything.
player, but they weren't even that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got on a full athletic scholarship to some crazy college.
Yeah, but they sucked and they weren't very smart, but they paid their way into it. And it's like, you think about that, because that actually happened recently. And then you think about what would happen if there's a life and death situation and this guy's willing to pay a ton of money to save himself or save his family member or whatever. And they just so happen to see that your stuff matches and you're like on your last leg and they could fix you, but they were just like, nah, this guy's paying me, $30 million if I just kill this guy. I pronounce him dead and I just take his liver and call it good. We just throw his body out in the back.
Exactly.
Just throw him in the oven.
Throw him behind the chemical shed. It'll be all right.
It'll be fine.
There's always a
come
chemical
back. We'll
shed.
come back and pick him up next weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's always a chemical shed.
What's the next question?
Right. Well, and just so both of y'all know, I completely zoned y'all out while y'all were just going back
She's
and
over there
forth.
picking her
I'm
nose.
just,
She's like, yeah.
No.
This is what happens sometimes.
I was not. Okay. Would you rather never be stuck in traffic again or never get another cold?
Ooh. Never
Never get
stuck in traffic again.
Same. Because
Absolutely.
colds suck. They absolutely suck. But in the grand scheme of things, traffic
Take
is...
a few Dayquil. It only lasts about 3 days, but traffic, yeah.
Yeah, traffic is horrible.
Yeah, traffic
It's a waste
is
of life.
much worse.
It is. It is. It really is.
Yeah, because I just got over a cold, and it was pretty freaking miserable, but I still hated being stuck in traffic more than I was sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're sick and stuck in traffic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's...
I know.
it's not fun.
I'd much rather be moving than be stuck behind a million people going 2 miles an hour because nobody knows how to drive.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So, let's see. Where was the next one? Oh, okay. Would you rather not be able to see any colors or have mild but constant tinnitus, which is ringing in the ears?
I have that
So-
anyway, so I'd choose that.
Yeah, I'd rather just have tinnitus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Not seeing colors would be pretty brutal.
Yeah, that
It
would suck.
because that's one of my favorite things. Okay, so a little bit about me. I love photography, specifically pictures of the sunrise, sunset, country, just landscape.
basic
I
stuff.
love. Yeah, shut up. It's just absolutely beautiful, you jackass. I'm gonna punch you so hard when I see you next. But no, just having photographer aspirations, that would be heartbreaking if I wanted to be a photographer but I couldn't see colors.
Well, you could do it in black and white.
Well, yeah,
A lot of people do that nowadays.
A lot of people.
but I don't know. I just like
But I
pretty
understand.
colors.
Yeah, colors are interesting, and they kind of make you appreciate nature and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yes, but I already have tinnitus because when I was
Oh.
in basic training, somebody threw a hand grenade simulator next to my face. It was
Ooh.
probably like 2 feet away, and it exploded. And
Oh my
it pretty
gosh.
much, I don't know if it damaged my eardrum or what, but
Sure
I
it
think on
did.
the left side, I feel like it might have been damaged because every once in a while I'll just get that ring, and
Yeah,
I
I
won't be
get
able
it
to
too.
hear anything out of my left ear. Sometimes it happens in the right, but not as bad as on the left. And I'll just have to sit there and it'll just be whining for just a couple seconds, and then I'll get my hearing back full.
Yeah, I have the same situation too, man.
Same.
From all those years of being in welding and being around heavy equipment and stuff like that. Being real loud.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
honestly, this is just a guess, but I want to say that most people do have at least a extremely, extremely mild form of tinnitus.
I think a lot of people do, yeah.
Yeah, because I get that too on occasion, or not. Yeah, just more on occasion. So I'm pretty sure everyone experiences it. So,
Especially when that's why I have to sleep with the fan on.
I
Yeah.
like it because it's
Yeah,
cold.
because if it's just, well, I like that too. But if I'm trying to sleep in like a dead quiet room, that ringing
Can't.
comes in, and then you're just like, oh, it just drives you crazy.
Yeah, I used to have to sleep in complete silence, but when I met Chelsea, she always slept with some sort of white noise, like mostly a little box fan.
Mhm.
And once I got used to that, I cannot sleep in a quiet room. I just can't do it.
Yeah,
I will be awake all night.
yeah, it
I
drives me
have
crazy.
to. I
man.
actually, like when I have to travel,
Mhm.
like I put a app on my phone that's called Good Night Fan. that I have
yeah,
to
yeah,
use
yeah,
it
yeah.
if I'm sleeping away from home. I have to use it, or else
It's
I can't
just-
sleep.
It's just gotta be. That's just
Yeah.
how we do
It's-
our
yeah,
thing.
I'm sorry.
We're
It's called
creatures of
Bedtime
habit.
Fan.
Bedtime fan.
Nice. All right. Another
I
question.
actually used it when I was at your house.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yes.
Neat.
little white noise.
Oh. All right. Next question. Would you rather be famous for inventing a deadly new weapon or invent something that helps the world, but someone else gets all the credit for it? For inventing it.
How badass is this new weapon?
Super badass,
Sure, yeah.
like a railgun.
Ooh.
But it would have to be
Or like Spider-Man powers?
extremely deadly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, is it an instant death or is it like a slow creeping death?
Wow. I
All
don't
of
think
the
it matters.
above. Just
It's killing a bunch
everything.
of people. I think I'd go with that because there's too many people in the world as it is. So
Michael.
knocking it down from 7 billion to maybe 5 million will be good.
Michael.
Yeah, I think
Oh
I'm
my
gonna go.
gosh.
I'm gonna go with the cool weapon because I'm gonna make what I want to make, and it'd probably be like swords and shit. Back in the old day,
Like a
and
laser
then I'd
sword.
be like, I'm taking a oath to never create another weapon of death. And then some
After
lady
this
comes
last one.
in years later, and I have to create her another sword because a student of mine has taken
Oh
up
my
arms
gosh.
against. She has to get revenge.
Wait, that's like the plot of a lot of movies.
Yeah.
That's the plot of
Where
Kill
the
Bill,
student
son.
Turns.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
what
that's
right.
Daredevil. It's like all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to be able to invent something that helps the world, but someone else gets credit for it.
Yeah.
Like that is
Nerd.
my answer because I am just a wonderful human being with Jesus in my heart, and I just want to
Nerd.
help people.
Standing awfully high up on your soapbox there.
I know, and my
Nerd.
feet aren't touching the ground right now, so
Yeah.
because I'm short.
Thinking
All
really
right,
highly of yourself.
what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Michael.
What's the next question?
Shut up. Let's see. Okay. Would you rather... Oh, wait. I already did that one. Never mind. Would you rather become twice as strong when both of your fingers are stuck in your ears or crawl twice as fast as you can run?
That is so creepy.
It's so stupid.
I would much rather crawl twice as fast as I could run because I would be able to haul ass.
Yeah, I
And
think
all
that
fours,
would
'cause I
be
used to
it
do that
too,
going up the
but it'd be
steps at-
super
Oh, yeah.
creepy.
What?
It'd be super creepy. Just
What,
a
like
full
running on all
grown
fours?
adult male on all fours running like 30 miles an hour. Just
Well, dude, when
you're like,
we were
oh my
kids, we used to
god,
do
what
that
the
stuff.
hell?
Going up steps. Remember going up steps? We'd use all fours like, "Bah," and it'd go up really fast.
Yes.
Just
But I'm
picture
saying,
now you're
imagine a
just
fully grown man. Like, I'm just getting some exercise, but you're on all fours and you're going as fast as the traffic on the street. And you're like, holy shit.
That would be awesome.
That'd be crazy
Later,
to see, though.
nerds. You were like,
That'd
if
be-
you were in football and stuff, you just like get on all fours and have one tucked, and it's just nobody can catch you.
Oh my gosh, that would be terrifying. Well, okay, there was actually this one time I was at a girlfriend's house, and it was a 2-story house, and I was, I think we were getting ready to go somewhere, so I was getting ready in the bathroom on the upstairs, oh, I'm sorry, I was getting ready in the upstairs bathroom, and here comes my friend she just came like crawling, running up the stairs, and then crawling, running straight towards me. And I just see something move in my peripheral vision, and I see her, and she has like this terrifying, demented look on her face. And I scream, I start crying, and then I immediately slam the door. Yeah.
I almost
It was
kicked
terrifying.
Chelsea for doing some shit.
What?
I got terrified. Do you guys ever seen The Grudge? You remember that movie?
Yes.
Nope. Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
The
nope,
Grudge?
Nope. Nope.
Oh, she had this crazy hair in her face. Like,
Oh,
we were
I
just-
know
I
of
think
the
we were
movie.
just dating. Yeah. And
Yeah.
she known I had seen it. And it was crazy. It freaked me the fuck out. And because, the girl in there makes this weird sound. She's like,
Yeah, she makes that little
yeah.
little
And you're
grunt.
like, oh, yeah. And she was doing that when I was darkened the whole house. This was when you lived over, or actually when I lived with you, Auntie Amy and Uncle Jim in the house in Colleen.
Yeah.
And she turned off all the lights and she started put her hair in her face and she started crawling towards me and I was like and I reared back to kick the shit out of her. She's like, Trey, it's me.
Oh my
And
gosh.
she of course was like, you idiot. I was like,
Making
dude,
fun of
I
you.
almost kicked the shit out of you.
I
just
almost killed you.
I almost inverted your face.
I
Ew.
almost soccer kicked you right in the dome.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's
Scared the shit out of me.
I know, man. That's I actually remember that. That was funny. Now, I have a quick game before we go. It's called Strange Coke Flavors.
strange Coke. As
Strange Coke flavors. Are they real or
Coca-Cola?
fake? Yes.
Okay,
Oh yeah, because they got some crazy flavors, don't
they
they?
do.
Yes, they do. So these are Coke flavors. Are they real or are they fake?
Okay.
Okay,
Green tea Coke.
Oh, I hope that's.
I'm gonna say
fake.
yes.
It is real.
It's pretty good.
It's called Coca-Cola
try
Plus, and it's green tea infused
Asian.
Coke. I don't know.
That's
Gross.
only in like Japan and Korea and shit, isn't it?
Beer flavored Coke.
Ew. I hope
Mm-mm.
not.
No.
No, you think it's fake?
Yeah, I think it's fake.
It's real.
Why?
It's in Russia. It's a
Oh.
Russian
Oh my
beverage
God.
called a kvass or whatever. It's similar to a non-alcoholic beer, and Coke tried to make one, but it was apparently awful, so it
Yeah.
never took off.
Gross.
So, all right. So, garlic Coke.
No, that's not real.
No.
That's fake. That
Oh,
is
thank
definitely
God.
fake.
Thank God.
There was an internet spoof on it that many thought was real, but it turned out to be fake. However, garlic soda is on the rise in Japan.
Ew.
Oh, Japan. Leave it to Japan to have some weird shit.
Yeah.
Ew.
Coke with bacon.
That's
I bet that's
Real.
real.
It is real.
Yaha!
No,
Noise.
it's fake.
Oh, damn it.
This was
Oh.
put on the internet as real, and it looked legit, but it turned out to be fake.
Everybody loves bacon. Damn.
Yeah.
I know. I thought it was real too, but I had to do some searching into it, and it was fake.
Darn.
That
So, our bitters Coke,
Huh?
bitter Coke,
Yeah.
Bitter?
I'd say that's real.
Coke?
bitter Coke. Yes,
What? No, that can't be real.
it's real.
I am not doing well with this
it's
game.
it's called Bitter Rosso. This was a bitter soda made by Coke in Spain, but it was terrible, so it never took off.
Good. It shouldn't have even been created in the first place.
Yeah, but they tried it because basically what Coke is doing around the world is finding what's really popular in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Russia, they have a beer Coke called the kvass, like I was saying, and they tried to copy it, and it sucked. It did the same thing in Spain, where they had the like the bitters, at like a bitter soda, which is pretty popular in Spain, but Coke tried it, failed miserably. So, next one is
How
pine.
does a bitter...
What?
I was like,
How is
how
a
does
bitter
a
what?
bitter soda even work?
Yeah, that's...
It just tastes bitter, I guess. Maybe like kind of like how coffee's bitter, or can be.
Maybe, I guess.
You know what I mean?
But
I know they have that
fizzy,
coffee
I guess.
Coke. That coffee Coke actually used to be pretty good.
Coffee Coke?
Yeah, it used to be called Coca-Cola Black. and then they had the Coca-Cola
It's like an espresso.
Coffee Plus in Japan, I think.
Hmm.
But it was stupid expensive.
Really?
Yeah, it was like $2 something for an 8-ounce bottle.
Oh my gosh.
It was this little tiny glass bottle, and I mean, like I said, it was delicious. Had a bunch of caffeine in it, but it was just too damn expensive for what you were getting.
Mm.
So next up is Pine Nut Coke.
No.
Nut? I'm gonna say it's real.
It is real.
Ah.
It's a Pine Nut Coke. It's sold in Africa. Basically, it has pineapple and coconut flavors.
Interesting.
Gross.
Spicy Coke.
I bet you that's real in Mexico
Yeah.
or some shit.
Yeah, I want to say it's real.
It is real.
Ugh, my.
And it's called Thumbs Up, and it's from India.
I knew it. Oh my gosh, I
India.
freaking knew it.
Yep. And it's
Oh,
actually
it'd be
one of the
Mexico.
most popular drinks there.
What? No.
Gross.
Okay. Well, it makes sense because they all have, like, the spices in the Indian culture are like
Insanely spicy.
they're insane.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Tastes so good though.
That
I
it
know
would
does.
be a soda and that it would be popular. That does make sense.
Yeah.
With that culture.
So the next one here is Banana Coke.
Real.
Yes, that's real.
That is fake.
Ah.
Actually,
Aw.
eating a banana and drinking soda can actually cause you to evacuate.
What?
Yes.
What is? What?
If you eat a banana, there's actually a challenge on the internet you can find. Don't try it.
Okay.
But basically, you eat 2 bananas and then drink a Coke or a Sprite or something, and it makes you either throw up because it expands and has a chemical reaction in your stomach, or it makes you have diarrhea.
Oh.
Yeah. It's some pretty nasty stuff. So, them making a banana Coke doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And
Gross.
last but not least, mint Coke.
Real?
I bet it's real.
That is also fake.
Oh my gosh.
Same
Dude,
thing with
we
the banana Coke.
suck.
It's a popular
We really
internet
suck.
like science project to
Shut
drop
up.
Mentos in Coke, and then it explodes. So they don't want to be like, oh, this is because if you say you go to a store and they have those like make my own flavor Coke.
Yeah.
You have vanilla, you have orange now, which they actually sell orange vanilla Coke.
Yeah.
And if you went in there and got mint, some people will be like, I can make my own. I can just drop a Mentos in it.
Oh yeah.
And
Or
then
they did the same thing with bananas and it would explode.
Gotcha.
They would explode though. Not the
Yes,
Coke.
they would. They would evacuate. I was trying to make it sound professional by saying evacuate instead of shit your
Just
pants.
say they were gonna shit their pants.
Or throw up everywhere, all over your grandmother's china.
Like eat.
Why
Oh God.
would you?
Like drinking a gallon of milk in an hour.
Yeah. Like
You remember
drinking a
that?
gallon of milk in an hour.
Or what was it that Cody did? He
drank
drank
syrup.
Syrup. That's
He
right.
drank,
A full bottle. Was
No,
that
he
it?
didn't drink the full bottle.
Oh, okay.
He barely drank a quarter of it.
Oh, okay. But still.
It was like that log cabin syrup. So, it's got the big bottle and then it's got the neck.
Yeah.
He basically
Yeah.
drank it down to the neck. Like
my
to
gosh.
the, maybe like an inch down. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it was like a quarter, maybe a third of it.
Gotcha.
But it was, we picked out the thickest syrup we could find. And
Y'all
he tried
are
to chug it. And
horrible
he got
people.
so sick.
Horrible.
How much did y'all give him?
We gave him the whole bottle.
No, I'm saying, what did he do it for?
Oh, for no reason.
Like no benefit whatsoever. He's like, yeah,
No.
fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah, no money, no,
No
it's like,
cool
Cody
we're not
points.
going to give you, here's a keys to a Lamborghini if you can drink this in under a minute. No. That's it.
Shit,
just
Cody
did it for no
needs
reason.
to. Cody needs to rethink his life, man. Like,
Yeah. Well, we all did something stupid. That was kind of the thing. We're all going to plan on doing something dumb. So I did the hot shot. Cody did,
Hot shot?
yeah. Where basically I took wasabi powder. Like the traditional tequila shot is salt, tequila, and then lime, right?
Right.
Well, this shot was called the hot shot. It was wasabi powder instead of salt.
You're a moron.
So you lick the wasabi powder, and it immediately turns to paste in your mouth and gets stuck, and then it's super spicy. And then you take a shot of tequila, and then you bite into a pepper
oh,
instead of a
a
lemon.
moron.
Yeah, that was rough. That was strong.
what kind of pepper was it?
I think it was a
Like
jalapeno.
a jalapeno?
Yeah, we were gonna do a habanero, but I was like, "What if I do that? I'm gonna die."
Yeah, you'll die.
Because it was pretty tough with the jalapeno. Because you bite into a raw jalapeno, seeds and all. I mean, that was rough. That was really spicy. So I was like, I don't want to die of shock, so I'm just gonna stay with jalapeno.
See, okay, this is so funny to me because you, Michael, you're like really, really smart. But whenever I hear stories like that, the only word that ever comes to mind is moron. But that doesn't describe you as a person. That just describes that moment of
Very dumb.
yes, like your just lapse of judgment.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to be in love with her actions.
No, I'm not. Because he farts all the time and it
You just have to be in
smells.
love
It's
with me.
horrible. Yay. I'm kidding. Yes, I'm very much in love. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's discouraging.
But hey, do you have anything else?
No, man, I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you guys again.
Oh, and
so
I
much.
don't have anything either. Thanks for asking.
Well, you didn't have your thing up. I thought you asked all your questions, so we'll do that again next week. But
Okay, I'm just giving you a hard time.
thank you guys so much for listening again. Please follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. At Twitter is at PullItBack1, and on Instagram we are at PullItBackPodcast. Again, thank you guys so much for listening, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye, y'all. Thanks.
Thank you.